Hi everybody, I'm Zach and I like movies, and I am back to my regularly scheduled programming, so to speak. Just wanted to come on and kind of explain where I've been and what the plans for the year are. And this is a little later than I thought it would be because I have been going through some stuff lately. Firstly, my brother was in a car accident. He's okay, but the car was deemed a total loss, and we've been going through that. And what sucks is that happened like a week before Christmas, and we were busy with work. Retail during the holidays is not fun, and by the time the window fully opened post New Year's to like do any insurance stuff, to like really be serious about the insurance claims, I got sick, and I got real sick. And I don't get sick too often, but when I do, I get like 3 times as sick as normal people do. The kind of sick where I'm laying on the couch just pitifully in a just sitting in my own sickness. I'm freezing, but I'm also hot because I'm sweating from the fever, and I want to sleep, but the light on in the living room is too bright, and I have no energy to just reach up a little bit further just to turn the light off. So it's it's just set. It's pathetic, and it was really. And also, I was coughing all the time. And I was coughing because I had to go to the doctor, and it turned out it was bronchitis, which not fun. It was honestly worse than any time I've had COVID, and because COVID, I never hit the part of COVID where I was out of breath, but with this, I was coughing so hard that I couldn't breathe, and then it kicked in my gag reflex. So terrible time. It only happened once, but that was worse than any dry heave. But but I got my medicine. I spent a week just recuperating, and I tried to hit the ground run, and tried to do little things, things I normally do on my day off to make the time easier, but it was really hard. It was really hard. All I could do was just rest and take my medicine. And I also got an inhaler for that stuff. Worked like magic, but that was kind of where I've been. I wasn't able to really do much of anything, especially because I wanted to hit the ground running with my plans for the year. And my plan for my personal goals and this channel is the Great Watchlist Purge of 2025. I have both my watch lists, mostly on my IMDb and my Letterboxd accounts, have well over 1,000 titles, most of which are just stuff I have not seen. A couple is just, I haven't seen this in a couple of years, better throw that on just to remind myself, and then I totally forget. And then that's kind of just going to be the goal. I will watch something new, and something that I'm revisiting after a couple of years, and just kind of talk about it. I'm probably not going to be as dedicated to it as I was with my Letterboxd challenge last year, but or definitely not as probably not as formal, at least for the time being. I will probably find some rhythm to get into with this challenge, at least with this little personal goal for myself. But speaking of that Letterboxd challenge, I'm doing another one as part of this. I feel this challenge is kind of really good for me because it gives me some sense of structure. It's like watching. It's why I like lists. They're very neat and tidy. They give me something to do. And that's part of this announcement that I'm doing a Letterboxd Criterion Challenge for 2025. Again, not going to be anywhere near as formal as last year, and probably I'm hopefully going to be done with it sooner than just scrambling to get it all of it done in the last quarter or something of the year. Story of my life. Always a procrastinator, me. Yeah, and honestly, this one is a very exciting list. Probably my favorite category of lists that uh, uh, Ben, the organizer of these lists, has ever made, and I'm really impressed by. I'm honestly really impressed by some of these, and sorry, cough is mostly gone, just not all the way. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, kudos to Ben. I'll link his account and his list in the description, and the list that you can follow and make your own. That you can do. These are really fun. I think again, these are like they give you a real sense of structure and a real focus. You know, and when someone like me who kind of needs order to things, it definitely helps. And on to the categories. So first off, we have number one, watch a film from the CC40 box set. This was a box set that Criterion released to celebrate their 40-year anniversary, which was basically just a big box of essentials. You had like your Bicycle Thieves, Mirror, you had Naked, the likes of like the Red Shoes, of course, Seven Samurai. Again, like kind of the biggest titles. Like basically, if you want to like drop like I don't know $500 to have Criterion in a box, just one box. That CC40 seemed like a good one. And of those, I decided on the Bob Fosse classic from the 1970s, All That Jazz, which I have not seen in quite a while. It's been, God, like 5 years? No, maybe maybe it was been like 5 years. I don't know. Like sometimes when I find a movie that even if it's a movie that I really, really like, I have to kind of like, really, I don't often revisit it as much as I probably should, but that's why I'm doing this list. And following that, number two, watch a film from the year you were born, and I chose Clean Shaven. This is a little indie drama that's been on my watch list for a while, a good long while. It's I've seen like a clip of it, and it's basically this drama a movie that is really focused on trying to best visualize the experiences of having schizophrenia, and it seemed like really interesting and really haunting. Also, this one's a little interesting because like it's like kind of one of those like ones where like the release date's a little finicky. So most say like it was released in 1993, but Criterion listed it under 1994. So it's fine with me. Not mad about that at all. And also, I really fought and struggled with like this list. Like, just to show you, like, oh, I hope the glare isn't. Yeah, okay, that makes the glare. Yeah, okay. So I have my categories like here and what movie I'm going to be reviewing for it. But I also am still going to be watching like all the ones I didn't choose in the categories because those are also on the watch list. Again, I really wished I hit the ground running on this, but let me tell you, it's really hard to focus on new stuff when your head is just swamped with fever so bad that you can't really do much of anything. You kind of do need to just focus on something familiar and maybe stupid. So yeah, maybe watch some Beavis and Butthead. But Beavis and Butthead is great. That leads me to number three, which was directed by Robert Altman, and I really could have gone with any. I have a few on my shelf from him. He's not a director I'm terribly familiar with. I do need to watch more of his stuff. I really could have rewatched The Player, or just given more attention to something like McCabe and Mrs. Miller, or his masterpiece, The Long Goodbye. But I chose his 1993 movie, Shortcuts, which is kind of like Magnolia before Magnolia, just a big interweaving, wide spanning cast story set in L.A., but it's centered around an earthquake, I think. And it sounds interesting. And also, like, I need to like, I really need to like dig into Robert Altman. Anyway, so number 4, watch a film that would be your first choice in the Criterion closet. This was tough, mostly because there's a lot of because like what do you grab? I would be so spoiled for choice. Like even just looking at my shelf here, I'm so spoiled for choice. I don't know what to watch first just to like get started, you know. But I eventually did choose. I chose a movie, a movie from 2023. It is by a British director, Andrew Haigh, who is a wonderfully talented director. He only has a few. I think this is like his 5th movie, but I've heard nothing but great things. This is called All of Us Strangers. It's a it stars it stars Andrew Scott and Paul Mescal, and it's like a queer love story, but also it's about Andrew Scott kind of reflecting on his like childhood or something like that. Maybe there's a time travel element to it. I don't know. I'm trying to keep myself a little blind to some movies that I really want to watch. Especially if they're contemporary stuff. I'm trying to keep myself very unspoiled about stuff like The Brutalist, because I really want to see that, but God, it's not showing anywhere, and I don't have the time. Anyway, number 5, great soundtracks. Now, this was another one where I was spoiled for choice. Could have gone Black Orpheus, could have gone Menace to Society, The Young, or like a Jacques Demy musical, like The Young Girls of Rochefort. But I went with a recent addition to Criterion, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. This is a Western by Sam Peckinpah, which is soundtracked and even has an acting role from the god Bob Dylan. And you know, there's a lot of Dylan hype currently. What with the Complete Unknown with Timmy Chalamet as Dylan, and the Zoom, and like if that's and hey, the Zoomers get introduced through Bob Dylan through that, all the better for it. And honestly, I need to dig more into Dylan. I've only listened to a couple of his albums, but Highway 61 remastered is goated, absolutely goated. Anyway, really wish I could edit this. Number 6, we have John Turturro's Adventures in Moviegoing, and of the movies that he talked about in that great little series, I chose an Italian dark comedy called Divorce Italian Style, which seemed to be like I think it won like an Academy Award for Best Foreign Language. Maybe it did. I'm not sure. But the plot synopsis sounds wicked and kind of fun in a weird, in a kind of a crazy way. But again, I'm being kind of vague on that because I want to go in blind. Number 7, a movie from the 1920s, and this was, and I really want to like explore and like talk about more of these like silent era movies, because I think there's a real universality to a lot of these. And one that I absolutely want to talk about, and one I haven't seen for a while, is Carl Theodor Dreyer's The Passion of Joan of Arc. One of the most breathtaking movies I've ever seen. Honestly, no better testament to the power of a close-up than this film. Oh my God, it is amazing. Just thinking about her face is just, I'm getting moved. But anyway. So number 8, on to 8. Watch a film that will be added to the physical collection in 2025. There's quite a few good ones I could have seen. I was thinking of The Grifters. There's that Nicholas Roeg Rolling Stones movie he did with Mick Jagger called Performance, which is really weird. Then there's also Night Moves with Gene Hackman, which I actually got down there. It's a really underrated film noir from the 70s. But I went with Drugstore Cowboy. This is a Gus Van Sant movie from the '90s, starring Matt Dillon, and it's got this and it seems to have this very interesting. No, it actually was sorry, it was from '89, and it has this very interesting mix of like indie film sentiments, mixing in some like film noir, some like crime stuff. Feels like a one of those like interesting like genre sort of interesting genre mashups that Van Sant did with his indie films, like what he it's similar to what he was doing with what was it called? Man, that movie he did. What was that movie he did with Keanu Reeves? My Own Private Idaho. A great movie too, by the way. And moving on to that, a movie from the 1930s for number 9, and there's a lot to choose, but I had to go for a classic for this one. It's a essential rom-com, essential screwball comedy. It is it happened one night. That's one of those big titles I haven't seen yet, and I'm very excited for that. And number 10, pick something from Andrew Garfield's closet picks, and I went with kind of a big one. Happiness. That is a movie by Todd Solondz from 1998 that is controversial and uncomfortable, to say the least. I know one story that happens in it, and it just it makes me feel icky. But I'm very excited to just kind of dive into that. I don't think I've seen a Todd Solondz movie, but yeah, interested in that one. After that, 1940s. There's a lot of stuff I could have gone. I was thinking of doing a Hitchcock, like a classic Hitchcock. There's some film noir. There's like early Akira Kurosawa, Sanshiro Sugata, that I really wanted to see after watching Throwdown. But I went with another screwball comedy rom-com classic. It is The Philadelphia Story, the esteemed classic, beloved hilarious comedy with Katharine Hepburn, Jimmy Stewart, Cary Grant. Another one I haven't seen yet, and I love all three of them. So I'm shocked I haven't yet, and I think I have it on my shelf somewhere. I'd probably say, yeah, there it is. It's so yeah, like sometimes I just buy stuff during the sale, just when I had like more expendable money, to kind of like, oh, I haven't seen this yet. This sounds great. But yeah, I need to make time. I'm terrible with time management. But anyway, as is evident by this, like me rambling on for like almost 20 minutes now. But on to number 12. This is pick a movie from Celine Son's top 10. Celine Son, the very talented writer-director of Past Lives. If you have not seen that, you are missing out. And I went with one of the more obscure, probably the most obscure movie on the list as far as like the mainstream, modern mainstream audiences that you probably haven't heard of. It's called Closely Watched Trains. This is a movie that was really kind of one of the essential movies of the Czech New Wave film movement, a movement that would eventually get us talents like Milos Forman, who would go on to make One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Amadeus, which was coming to 4K. I can't wait for that. And it seems interesting, and my whole mission statement for this channel is to invite more people to watch these lesser known movies, and even movies I haven't seen yet, such as my next one for number 13, the 1950s slot. I went with another Carl Theodor Dreyer movie, Ordette. This is it's a movie that seems to deal a lot with religion and spirituality, and is another one of those like esteemed, one of those like classics of like you know like capital C cinema, kinds. And I'm very, very excited for that. Also, there was a lot I could have chosen from the 1950s, but also I could have a lot to choose from. Number 14, which was to watch a film from the Criterion Channel's all-time favorites list. A lot to choose, but honestly, I wanted only one pick. I'm gonna watch Jacques Tati's Playtime. It is a movie by basically the French Mr. Bean the French Charlie Chaplin before one of the great mime and clown and brilliant director Jacques Tati. I had his collection of movies up there for God knows how many years. Still have not watched anything. This is the problem with like collecting movies, is that sometimes you just collect them to have them and not watch them. You don't get around to watch them, and it's frustrating. God. But yeah, I'm watching Playtime. I'm watching everything else in that box. They look delightful and hilarious, and I can't wait. Also can't wait for the movie I chose for 1960s. It is a film from Joseph Losey, who directed a film that I reviewed of last year called Mr. Klein, which I was honestly surprised got as much views as it did. I don't really get views in like the couple hundreds like that, but apparently people liked either Alain Delon or they just really liked Mr. Klein that much. And this movie is called The Servant, which again, I don't know a whole lot about it, but it seems really like this really interesting kind of psychosexual, maybe psychosexual, but like definitely a psychological drama, maybe thriller with like the power play with like this shifting power dynamics between Butler and the rich man he's serving. I think so. Again, I'm keeping things on the down low, but anyway. And again, a lot I could have chosen from. I could have watched it in Cold Blood. Could have watched The Shop on Main Street, which sounds great. And yeah, again, I have a lot to get into. So moving on. 16. Watch a film that is currently out of print in the physical collection. Hard Boiled. John Woo's essential shoot 'em up, balls to the wall action film. I'm watching that. Which is very exciting because Shout Factory actually got the international release rights to like over 100 movies from Hong Kong, which included like Hard Boiled, the Better Tomorrow trilogy, and like The Killer, and like that's just the John Woo stuff. And very, very excited about that. And yeah, can't wait to watch that. Another classic. Why don't I watch that more often? It's crazy awesome. On to 17, the 1970s. The 1970s had it. Probably like, this is probably the most, the most like other ones to watch for the list, for like the list, just like recreationally. But the one I chose for this is a movie called Claudine. It seems to be like some kind of a contemporary 70s romance movie set like the inner city, and features a great performance from the man, one of the greats, James Earl Jones. Which this is one I haven't. This is like an early James Earl Jones role I haven't seen. I think the earliest I've seen is like, yeah, there's like of course Star Wars, but like something like a a great James Earl Jones performance, like in Matewan or something like that, or hell, even like his little role in Doctor Strangelove. He's great in that. Yeah, miss that guy. Number 18, William Friedkin's Closet Picks. There was only one that I hadn't seen, and I'm really excited to see. It's another more recent entry into Criterion. It's called All That Money Can Buy: The Devil and Daniel Webster, and it seems like an interesting little movie about a man who sells his soul to Mr. Scratch. It looks devilish and fun. 1980s. Again, a lot I could have chosen from. There's a lot of like classics that I haven't seen. There's like stuff like I really need to watch more Brian De Palma. I could have rewatched Dressed to Kill. That one's great. Risky Business I haven't seen in forever. There's Hollywood Shuffle. Bull Durham. Hell, I'm interested in seeing Heaven's Gate, just kind of seeing the big grand disaster that was. But I went with Broadcast News, just a great a classic comedy from James L. Brooks, like William Hurt, Albert Brooks, and I'm always blanking on her name. Why don't I know her? It's Holly Hunter. Holly Hunter. God, it's Mrs. Incredible. Why did I blank on Holly Hunter's name? Anyway, next is number 20, Spine number 451 through 499. And I was tempted to break in the Roberto Rossellini's War Trilogy again, but I went with a movie called In the Realm of the Senses, and that is a movie about a Japanese movie about a couple that is so alienated from contemporary Japanese society that they have sex to the death. All right, let's see where that goes. Okay, 21, the 1990s. I felt I needed some Mikhail Haneke. He's an Austrian, very austere director, a real like highbrow art stuff. And I went with his 1994 movie 71 Fragments or Chronology of a Chance. There's more Mikhail Haneke I need to watch. And maybe give his Funny Games movies, both of them, another chance again. 22 is a documentary subject, and there was only one I really needed to focus on. It's one of that, again, been on my watch list for forever. It's a documentary from Wim Wenders called Pina, which is a documentary about the work of about a dance choreographer told through her choreography, and like there's performances of that choreography. It looked amazing. And Wim Wenders has such a wonderful voice, especially with like his documentaries. I think they're so fascinating. 23, 2000s, and I chose a movie from the year 2000. It is called Bamboozled. This is a Spike Lee joint about blackface in media, and it looks real spicy. Like, ooh, man, I can't wait for this. Like, I actually watched a great FD Signifier video about it, which I would highly recommend you check that out. Looks great. 24. This is a movie. Pick a movie from Janus Contemporaries. This is sort of a new outlet they started in the last year to sort of bring in and like give physical media to more contemporary works. As it says, contemporary works that like would probably be a little known more for under the Criterion label. And I was tempted on some, but I went with a French film called The Innocent. Again, don't know much about this, but the synopsis sounded fun. 2010s comes 25, and there's a movie I also had on my shelf for a while. It is a film from one of the all-time greats of foreign cinema, the esteemed Iranian director Abbas Kiarostami. It's a movie he made in Japan called Like Someone in Love, which from what I understand is very similar to another movie he made in like Europe called Certified Copy, which was marvelous. I highly recommend that. 26. Pick a movie from Bill Hader's second closet picks. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to watch and review Sallow or 120 Days of Sodom. It's kind of a meme movie. Just real gross, real explicit, and very explicit movie about fascists just doing all kinds of horrible things to and about. I probably can't say. I'll see what I can get away with, but who knows. 27, 2020s. Watch a movie from the 2020s. I had only one pick. Another Wim Wenders movie. Perfect Days. Everything I've seen has been nothing but amazing. Everything I've heard has been nothing but amazing. And it looks absolutely just chill, relaxing. Exactly what I need. And number 28, noir and neo-noir. I got very excited about this because this is my favorite genre of all time. And I had a hard time choosing what to do here, but I did choose a Spanish movie called Victims of Sin. It seems to be this like a very very short, like it's like 80 minutes long, but it's like a musical too, and it sounds fun. And again, I love noir. I'll devour anything. Noir is like one of my favorite times of the year. Here and speaking of all-time favorites, this is 29. Pick a movie from the all-time top Criterion Closet picks. There were a lot of essentials too, but I chose I Am Cuba, or Soy Cuba, one of the great essentials of, like, if you love movies, you have to see this kind of thing. And yeah, I bought it last year and just kind of been waiting for any time to do it. And yeah, this is a good time as any. And so on to number 30. This is a movie. This pick Criterion releases never picked in the closet. I went with a French film called Le Trou, which from reputation is one of the more popular and sort of known as one of the best Prison Break movies, which sounds great. Could always use that. 31. Okay, this is when we get into some of the silly categories. This is North American film. Just any one of them. And it's like, that doesn't sound frustrating at all for me, god damn it, but I did choose Italian American. This is a documentary that Martin Scorsese did that's available on, I'm pretty sure I have that. Yeah, it's available on a collection that Criterion released of his short films that he did like before he like made Mean Streets and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's one where you really see like the budding filmmaker, where he's kind of like figuring things out, and clearly having a lot of fun with it too. And it looks great, and he interviews his parents in that, and they're great. They're a great presence. 32, My Girl, Ayo Edeberi's closet picks. A lot to choose from, but I went with a classic I have not seen, and one I will review. It is High and Low, a absolutely goated movie from the master Akira Kurosawa. One of the greatest crime thrillers ever made. Number 33, Wim Wenders again. This selection is picked from Wim Wenders' Adventures in Moviegoing. And I went with a French movie from about World War II called The Bridge. Seems to be, like World War II movie could be seems kind of interesting. I think it was like right after World War II, I think, which sounds interesting. Also, what sounds interesting is number 34, which to pick a South American film. I went with El Norte, which I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure it got a lot of Oscar gold when it came out back in the 80s, and it seems to be about the immigrant experience, like just the journey to get to the border. Sounds heart-wrenching. It also sounds like could be a crowd pleaser in a weird way. Sounds like this way I really wish I could edit any of this to cut this down shorter. Anyway, 35, random number generator. Just plug in a random number from 1 to whatever Criterion his number was and watch that movie. And my number was 1001, which was a indie comedy from Greg Malata, who directed stuff like, I think he did Superbad, he did stuff like Adventureland, which is a great movie if you have not seen it, and it is called The Day Trippers, which looks like a fun, kind of sad, heartbreaking, a kind of funny, sad, heartbreaker kind of movie, which, look great. 30, I lost my place. I'm dragging this out. Okay, number 36. Pick a movie from the selection of AAPI movies. So you have Asian American movies, and I went And I decided I was really tempted. I really wanted to talk about Chan is Missing with you. Chan is Missing is really good and really vibey, low key, very interesting indie movie about set in like China, set in like New York's Chinatown. But I went with a movie that sounded like more of something I needed a little more. It's called Mississippi Masala. It's it's a movie about an interracial relationship where an Indian woman falls in love with 1991 era Denzel Washington, and I think that sounds like it. And like I don't see a lot of like interracial relationships where like one of them isn't white. I think that's very I think that's something that sounds just fascinating to me. And it looks very romantic and relaxing too. Okay, 37. Watch a film shorter than 80 minutes. You'd be surprised how many there are. But I went with a movie called I Walked with a Zombie. I was very intrigued by this because it is by Jacques Tourneur. He was a director from the 40s who really knew how to like make a movie really quick and like make it stylish and like these horror movies. His most famous movie is probably the original Cat People. And I Walked with a Zombie. It sounded fascinating and really cool. 38. European film. Sure, all of it. All right, fine. I went with a French movie again. It's called La Cérémonie. There is it's a movie. It's some like tense, like some kind of tense domestic thriller, and it's got Isabelle Huppert in it, and I love Isabelle Huppert. Looked great. Looked fun, and yeah. 39. Cult movies. This was also a little tough to pick, but I went with Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. It seemed like a great time to finally rewatch and finish Twin Peaks, and this kind of comes especially hard right now at the time of filming because today David Lynch passed. With the announcement of David Lynch's passing, this will hit a little harder. I don't doubt it, and yeah, I'm probably gonna be sad watching that. It looked like a sad movie. Okay, number 40. Onto a not sad movie, Isabella Rossellini's Adventures in Moviegoing. I went with a Charlie Chaplin movie called The Circus, and which Charlie Chaplin at the circus. The jokes could kind of write themselves, and I decided to pick that one because of Isabella Rossellini. And in that video, she like talked about how much affection and love and fun memories she has with the circus, which sounded just adorable. She's so sweet. 41. This was a tough one for me. This is Winona Ryder's Closet Picks. I went with, and she has great taste, because I went with a 1999 movie called Afterlife. It is a classic. It is kind of a classic film, a classic Japanese film from director Hirokazu Koreeda, who also apparently has a series on Netflix that just dropped like 2 days ago or something, that had like no advertising at all. Crazy, because he seems pretty prolific, especially lately. Like I first got introduced to him to Shoplifters, and I've loved just about anything else I've seen from him. It looks fantastic, and very hyped for this. Very hyped to see Afterlife and Asura. That show I mentioned. 42. African film. This is probably an easier one. I wanted to go with an Ousmane's. Hang on, gotta get this name right. Ousmane Sembene, one of the more famous directors out of Africa, and I went with his movie from '68 called Mundabi. Very, and again, haven't seen that. Don't know much about it, but I need. African cinema is kind of a blind spot for me. But what isn't a blind spot is number 43. This was to pick a movie from John Carpenter's top 10. I've seen them all, but no better chance to rewatch this classic. This is the film noir for me. I am going to rewatch and review Double Indemnity. I am so hyped. That's one of my favorite movies. Okay, I've been at this for a while. Gotta get this done. So 44. Watch a horror movie. I went with a weird movie, a movie that sounds weird. It's called Spider Baby. It seems to be like this kind of old dark house, like movie where people come into like this creepy, decrepit old house, like, and there's cobwebs and there's spooks. Maybe it's haunted. Maybe there's something supernatural going. Who knows? Also, it's also 80 minutes long. It sounds like it could have been fun. 45. Asian film. Okay. But I went with another one that I haven't seen yet. It is a Wong Kar-wai film called Days of Being Wild. And yeah, it's Wong Kar-wai. That's one by him I haven't seen yet. And everyone I've seen from him has been really, really good. If nothing else, highly recommendable. 46. Dark comedies. I decided to go against the grain of everybody deciding to pick After Hours, but yeah, After Hours is awesome, don't get me wrong. And I went with Trainspotting, the Danny Boyle, Ewan McGregor classic that I haven't seen for a couple of years, but I remember so clearly. Like, that is a great movie if you have not had the chance to see it. Also, really should watch the sequel. I don't know if that was good or not. I've heard some mixed things. 47. Pick from Rachel Kushner's Adventures in Moviegoing. I chose The Man Who Fell to Earth. This is a movie from Nicholas Roeg and was the debut film of David Bowie. And it's basically David Bowie's Starman, the motion picture. And it's super weird. And I love it. And actually, I have a pretty sick 4K steelbook on that. I'll show it when I review it. 48. Australian film. There was only one guy I wanted to watch something from. It is Peter Weir, great director. I went with Picnic at Henning Rock, which is this really for reputation is like really a weird, haunting movie. Also, I have the release of it. It's in this like thick box set because it came with like the story that it was based on, which is crazy. Like, who does that? Anyway, 49. Female filmmakers. A lot I could have chose from, but I went with a movie I haven't seen from a director I really like. Mia Hansen-Løve. She's a French director who I only know one or two of her films, but they like really had an emotional effect on me. And the movie I chose is called Bergman Island, which again, trying to be vague, trying to like be fresh with it, but it's Mia Hansen-Løve. I'm interested in anything she makes now. Almost done. 50. Ben Wheatley's Closet Picks. I went with a road movie called Two Lane Blacktop. Don't know much about that. 51. A film by a director you have not seen before. I really struggled with this because I was trying to find a name that wasn't Lars von Trier. I don't know if I really want to finally just bite the bullet and watch a Lars von Trier movie. But I did not choose Lars. I instead chose Eric Romer, a French movie. French is getting a lot of love on my list. A French director who made these really interesting sounding kind of before, very reminiscent of like romance movies, very talky romance movies that feel reminiscent of like the Richard Linklater's Before trilogy. And I will watch his A Tale of Four Seasons movies, starting with A Tale of Springtime. And finally, rounding this off at 52, a movie that I absolutely have to do a review for, and am very excited to watch. It is to watch any Criterion film from your watch list. Farewell, My Concubine. one of the most celebrated movies out of China, either from the 90s or really like probably any time, especially like a globally beloved, a big sprawling epic of Chinese history. Looks, sounds, and looks absolutely breathtaking. I can't wait for this, and I can't wait to get into these. And thanks for letting me ramble on. I will try to be swift with more reviews, depending on how things go. Also, I will put up a video of some of my most anticipated movies of the year shortly. I can't wait to really dig into any of these. I am very, very excited for this. Yeah, I'm Zach. I like movies. I have so much movies to watch. Sorry. And I hope you watch movies too, because God, the movies give you life. They give me life. And I hope they give you life too. And yeah. Movies. Can't wait. Gotta watch them all. I'll see you later.